Hi, guys. I'm Matt. It's good to see everybody. I guess you're wondering why I called you all here. Coming off a 2-2 week, two really good games and two games that were pretty forgettable. But, and there is a but mixed in here, all in all, I got to say I'm pretty pleased just with what we're dealing with, our schedule, and the amount of injuries and just kind of the start that we've gotten off to. Right now, I'll take that 2-2 week, and especially a conference series win on the road. Every team's different. There's a season for everything in life, and every team's different. And you've got to approach it that way. There's been clubs in the past, very recent past, that 2 out of 3 wouldn't have gotten it done. That wouldn't have been acceptable, or a 2-2 week. But with where we're at right now, we need to continue to teach as well as coach, probably more teach right now, and continue to grow and continue to learn how to play at this level, just with the lack of experience and some guys no experience coming in. I think we've taken some strides to get where we're at right now and have gotten better. I would argue that yesterday was probably our best game of the year, just from a pace standpoint and an under control standpoint, understanding of what we're doing standpoint. And it was great as a big toughness win yesterday, and it showed what these kids are made of. And, we can hit and we can pitch and we can do some different things, but it's hard to do that with copious levels of stress or anxiety or trying to do too much because the game's sped up on you a little bit. And I thought we did a better job of controlling the pace, not trying to do too much yesterday. Going back to Friday, got a really good outing out of Chase. It was great to see him back out there, Morgan. And I thought he did great, close to 80 pitches, which is about where we wanted him. And then Armand off of that, as you can see, is a pretty good combination. Took a shutout into the 9th and lost that with 1 or 2 outs. I can't remember. 2 outs. Come out Saturday. Don't get off to a good start offensively. I really wanted that to carry over Friday's game, and then just getting too many negative counts from the jump. And South Al can hit. They have some good hitters. They have a good ball club. And they taxed us pretty good early, and it wound up being a role reversal where Saturday was Friday. It's just flip the teams. And then Sunday, take another shutout into the 9th, which I was very proud of the pitching staff. I think we only threw 7 guys this weekend. Last weekend we threw 8. This weekend 7. And so there's some guys merging as go-to guys that I'm really under the opinion that if we can score 5, 6, 7 runs a game, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility, this pitching staff is good enough. And so really, really, really proud of this group. They work, they compete, they love to play. So it was good to see them get rewarded with a big series win yesterday.
How huge was it to have Chase back for that Friday and just having that momentum?
Really needed that, Shannon. Really needed that. Needed that shot in the arm, if you will. That confidence. There's just a different aura when he's out there, or any stopper is on the mound. There's just a different aura and a different expectation. And even if it's only 3, 4, 5 innings to start off with, felt it was important not to bump him to Sunday or anything like that, but to put him right back where he's going to be so we don't get caught trying to move him around. Because there's a couple of short weeks coming up, too, in the not-too-distant future with Easter and then the end of the season before the tournament, all of that stuff. So it was good to have him back out there, and I really think the team fed off of it.
Are there any positives to the injury report right now, or what's the update there? I know it's a long list.
I was just told I think Markle will travel tomorrow. He's available to pinch run. He can start working defensively, and so that's positive. Haven't seen Brian yet today, Davis, our trainer. So probably kind of status quo on other guys.
Where y'all are and all that. I mean, the LSU game I know is big. Got a lot of Baton Rouge area guys on y'all team, so it's big for the fans and all. But in the big picture with all the injuries and everything, you would just like this game kind of, how does it fit into all of that?
Well, you go over there and you put the best group that you can possibly put out there, and you play the best game that you can possibly play with the expectation of winning the ball game. And 2 years ago, and I'm not saying it's the same team by a long shot, but 2 years ago they were number one in the country. We went over there without Debo, without Julian, and we're able to find a way to win that ball game. And so it's baseball. You just don't have it. You never know. They're good. They're extremely good. And saw them for 20 innings in the fall. Watched them while we weren't playing this weekend play Texas. I mean, and it's not just them. There's just unbelievably good baseball out there right now.
Any idea how the pitching will go?
Not exact. We're probably going to mix and match a little bit, try to piece it together. Like I said, we'll visit with Gunner, and haven't had a chance to sit down with him yet, and kind of see who gets us off to the best start.
Talk a little bit about Connor Higgs and just him emerging as one of your consistent sluggers.
Having a really good year. You know, he's in his 5th year, and his career started a little slower than some, or than he would have liked, but he stayed the course. And you know, he went through some tough times and has had some huge moments in a Cajun uniform. I was kind of reflecting on that this morning. And, you know, he's had a pretty good career. He's had a career that, you know, you have some guys come and play 4 years or 3, and you're going to remember them. And then you have some guys that come in and play 3 or 4 years, and you're always going to remember them. And you have some guys come in and play 3 or 4, and they wind up in the Hall of Fame. Then you have some guys that come in and play, and you don't remember them, and because there was never real impact there. I think Connor has solidified himself as a guy, and that's not taking anything away from guys that played here, because they contribute in some form or fashion, but people remember you for what you do and things that you've accomplished and been a part of. And I think he's put himself in a category where fans are going to remember him long after he's gone. I mean, he's approaching 30 career home runs, I believe, which is, you know what, that's a pretty good career.
Came out of Texas City.
Well, I mean, yeah, he comes by it naturally. Shocked he made it out of there, honestly.
JR's performance, I mean, how gratifying was that to see him put another good outing out there?
It's awesome. I'm so happy for the kid. He's come a long way. From a walk-on to, you know, a scholarship guy to where he's at now. It's a great story. And, you know, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and really mostly downs, honestly. His ups were only in practice, and he had to prove it in the game. And he's started to like the taste of blood a little bit. And once you get that feeling, there's no going back.
So McGee's been kind of piecing some things together. He hasn't been great, but he's been solid. So
it's gone in spurts. I'm just waiting on him to catch a wave and ride it for a couple of weeks, and it's kind of gone in spurts. I think he's got to continue to reinvent himself to where, you know, he's not so easy to find. And I mean, with the barrel, because he's going to throw strikes, and he's got good stuff. And so I don't know if it's a case of them seeing the ball, et cetera, but he showed a little flash of it this weekend, and came in, got a quick double play ball, throws a scoreless inning, and then we give up a little bit, you know, a couple of runs, 2 or 3. But it's in there, and he's a guy I'll never give up on, because he does it the right way. He's a professional, and he's got the stuff.
you just seem to thrive in chaos. I don't know exactly how that works, but you seem comfortable. We've seen this where everything seems to be, oh no, and somehow you kind of find a way. Like, what's the key to that?
Well, I think it's, yeah, otherwise for me, boredom sets in, and it's a scientific deal. There's a lot of driven people that they just, if things are status quo, it's dangerous for them. And but if there's a little bit of, smoke or fire, then they start to come alive a little bit. And I'm not saying it's good quality. It can probably be good and bad. But some people thrive in that, and others want a little bit more, cut and dried. And I don't know. I've just always been that way.
But it's helped you the last few years with all the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the more adversity going around. I mean, the more room you have to fail, in my opinion. And when things are going awesome, that's when everybody's like, trust me, I'd like to be undefeated right now. I'd like to go through that feeling. But this is a game of failure, and it's a game of things not going your way. It's not a game of perfect. It's a game of compete and failure and embracing the scrap and the individual confrontations and the outcomes that come with them. You got to be good with. It's a lot like MMA fighting. It really is. You see a lot of MMA fighters they're world renowned, but you look at their record and you go, it's all right. Well, it's not boxing. It's MMA fighting. You get tapped out at any point. And, those guys have to have short memories and driven. And it's not about the outcome all the time. It's about the scrap and the fight and the compete and finding a way to prove people wrong. And when that's your why, it can make you dangerous.
Petworth, we talked about him a little bit last week, and he's not overly flashy maybe, but solid again.
Solid. And I'd call him a steady presence. If you hit it, in that area, you're going to be out. And then he could mess around and have a great at bat. He can run. He can had one hit yesterday. And, he's Coach Z adjusted him, put him a little bit more in that Jeremy Pena setup where he can kind of fill his barrel a little bit. And he kind of took off and ran with that. Had a knock late Saturday, and then I thought had a pretty good day. We just take that one bases loaded at bat, and we don't chase right there. We've got a chance to go ahead and finish that game because I think it was 9-0 with bases loaded, nobody out or one out.
So, but he's giving you some stability
at a time when we really need it. And this is the crazy part about baseball. Under normal circumstances, I don't know that he gets these opportunities. But to his credit, he didn't play for a long time. He just stayed the course, kept working. And he's been a steadying presence in that lineup, and especially in center field. And all the boys love him, and they love seeing him out there for sure. Especially, being surrounded by so many freshmen that are pressing or, trying to do this or a little bit wide-eyed. It's been good to see.
His parents were in this weekend.
Well, he's from right down the road, and just a wonderful kid. Wonderful kid. Teammates call him the hit man. I think Markle started that. I think because he doesn't talk. I don't know. But he's full of joy on the inside.
His mom was just talking about him, and she loves being here, so that's good.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's what you want.